Hey everyone, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. Thanks for joining me for this December daily video. If you'd like to see what I'm going to do, stick around. Hey friends, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. Thanks for hanging out with me. This is my December daily volume 1 and last story for volume 1, 16, which is all about our cat Smokey. So you can see I'm showing you the plan here. I've selected some photos of him over the last month. Just Christmas Smokey, if you will, and this very big photo, which looks fake, my husband says, of him posing next to Nora's Christmas tree. And then I love this picture of him laying on her, so I wanted to feature that one as well. So this video goes pretty quickly. I had a very clear idea of what I wanted to do, and yeah, so it came together quick. Just showing you all the supplies that I potentially will be using. And now I will speed up the camera and continue to do the voiceover to let you know what's happening. So we just got back from Michigan and I completed this on New Year's Eve, and today the video is going up, so that's super exciting. I'm really glad I was able to finish volume 1. I wanted to finish it before we left, but it just didn't happen, so that's okay, no worries. I have lots of other content obligations at the moment that I need to work on as well. So right now I'm just looking for a word phrase to stamp on these tabs. I think they are from last year's December daily kit. But I end up deciding on gratitude because if you don't know, we did euthanize our other cat, Jeeves, a few weeks ago. And so it's been tough. That was my story number 7. I did not film that story for lots of reasons. But now that I can talk about it a little bit, since he's gone and was taken from us way too early, then there is so much more gratitude and appreciation, right, for what we do have. And so it was really important for me. Originally, obviously, was not planning on having to euthanize my fur baby, and so I always do in my December dailies a cats at Christmas story, and since that is singular, gratitude is definitely going to be my overarching theme for and reason for creating this entire double-page spread about Smokey, who was supposed to be Nora's cat, and Jeeves was supposed to be Nora's cat, but both cats have become my cat. So now she, of course, wants another cat, but that's for a story for another day. So I had this 4x6 pocket card that was the perfect size for the photo, left over from last year, and I'm just going to create this little stopper so that when I slide the photo in and out, it doesn't get lost. And just use an extra piece of paper for that. Taping the back side of story 15 because I didn't want these little brad ends to poke or catch. And then I'm going to use my score tape to create the adhesive for the back of story 15 to now the full page photo of story 16. And I'm going to end up trimming down the photo so that it fits appropriately once the 2 pages are together. So you'll see me do that in just a second. And I had already pre-selected the vellum number 16, which that is from, it was an extra I purchased last year, I think, from Ellie's Studio. So you can see it's too long, so I'm going to have to trim it just a bit. And originally I had planned to create a little bell cluster because Smokey loves any toy that has like a bell sound and he goes crazy for them. But I didn't have the energy after getting home and traveling and doing 800 loads of laundry and acclimating back to real life. So I ended up scrapping the idea of doing the little bell cluster, and instead I create a cluster on the top of this full page photo, which again, I just love this photo so much. So I chose to use the little vellum ornament because it had the pink, the red, and the green. That's like probably one of my all-time favorite color combinations for Christmas, and just in general, I love pink and red, or pink and green together. So I'm going to use my Zig glue pen and try to keep the glue on the parts that are foiled so you don't necessarily see the glue underneath the vellum, because vellum is funny and it really does show a lot. It's meant to show through. But when you don't want something to show through, it can be tricky. So again, I'm going to use the glue pen to stay on the foiled part of the back side of the 16, if that makes sense, and kind of just trace it so that you don't see it through once it's adhered to the photo. And then I have this leftover piece of Flair from Jenny Garcia. She sent me a whole bunch of December daily goodies a couple years ago. There was so much that she sent me that I have quite a bit left, although not as much. So I'm glad that I've been using it throughout the years. But this little pink and green and red house was perfect. And then these foam alphas, Dearly D influences me all the time. She's such an amazing creator. And she is obsessed with these bubblegum pink alphas. And so I purchased them along with several other color sets a while ago from Citrus Twist. And I'm going to use those to spell out Smokey. But first, I decided I want to bring in this new ribbon trim I got at TJ Maxx the other day. And so I'm going to trim out individual little pink and red bows. Now, it gets tricky because the print of the pink and the red overlap onto the bows. Like, it's almost misaligned a little bit. So I have to trim out a little bit of red, trim out a little bit of pink so that it's just red and just pink showing on each of the individual bows. And just use that as an extra element for texture. I just felt like it needed a little something else in my cluster. So I'm going to trim out this red one. Not quite sure where to put it though, so I'm going to put that to the side. Sometimes when my brain gets a little overwhelmed, I'll just like pause on what I'm not sure to do and then move to something else. So now I want to spell out Smokey, but I realized that I don't want to just put the alphas right on the photo because they will probably look kind of lost. So I want to ground the letters, if that makes sense. I thought about using washi, but instead I decided to use this long label, cut it in half, and put it at the bottom of the page. It's almost acting like I said, like a grounder, so sometimes I'll use washi for that. But instead I thought that this white would be more, like, make the letters pop more. And so I had to break open my other pink alphas that I had because I ran out of E's. And then I was like, do we spell Smokey with an E or no? But I'm pretty sure we do. Either way, I don't think he's going to be offended if he doesn't have the E. Yeah, we use an E. We use an E. And then there's a few little stars on the alphas, so I decided to add one of those, and then I'll bring them over to the right side, and you'll see that in a minute. And then I can use the other half of this label to just do a teeny bit of journaling with my Muji gel pen and a 0.38, and I just wrote that there were so many great moments with Smokey this Christmas, and that we're just so grateful to have him. Then I'm going to go look for some word phrase stickers to put on there just to add a little something else. It just says, "Then we'll snuggle," which is a quote from Elf, of course, and then a little gold heart. And I think that's pretty good. I wanted some flat embellishments so that it didn't get too chunky in the little hideaway pocket there. And now moving on to the right, I've got this 2x2 grid pocket page protector from Ali Edwards. And like I said, I had already measured out my photos and selected them. I use the Diptyque app and just print them on my photo printer or well, it's really just an anything printer at home. It's an Epson EcoTank, and I love it. And then I'm going to select, I'm not sure which of the ornaments I want to use. I know I want pink and I want red and maybe some green. So I'm going to kind of just try them out and see what I like. And I can't really try them out without fussy cutting them. I need to see what they look like in the pocket next to the photos. That's how picky I am. So I'm going to fussy cut them out. And don't worry, if I don't use it, I will save it for another project another day. I decide that while I like the look of the transparent ornaments, I don't really like the color variety that I had left since I used some already. So I'm going to stick with the paper ornaments. And I end up cutting out the pink Fa La 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 La, the red one. It just, you can barely see it. It's just a very, very small, tiny print of Fa La 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 repeated. So I'm going to use the pink one, the red one, and then I don't like the transparency, so I'm going to switch it out for a green one that says "around here," because all the pictures of Smokey are around our house. So it makes sense. I think it also acts like maybe a subtitle, or even, you know, the main title, although Smokey, the letters of his name are supposed to be the main title. But anywho, once I kind of arrange them where I want, then I have to decide what I'm going to do with the other pockets. And I knew I wanted to create shaker pockets. So, like, going into this, I knew I wanted to have ornaments and shaker pockets, and that's really all I knew. And I kind of just create as I go. Now I knew I had a pink and a red bow, and then I was like, well, now I need a green one, and I don't have a green one. So what am I going to do? And then I'm like, you know what? I can color in the back of this pink bow, because the pink is obviously like less a Goldilocks situation red, because these with the paint greens were too
So
bright.
I go into my Alex
I end
here,
up
and I grab a bunch of
going
different
into my other pastas and pulling out this
will go
darker
the best
green,
with that
and
green
while I do
ornament.
that, it like pours out of the pen and saturates the poor velvet bow. It gets everywhere. So I had to spend quite a bit of time like trying to press out some of the paint. But anyways, while that's drying, I'm going to continue to work on what I already have over here and just kept it really simple. Just add a little foam star to each of the ornaments. And then I can play with the shakers. So I'm using a sequin mix. Oh, I lied. I put a 16 on the around here so that you could tell that it was part of the same story, even though I think it's pretty obvious. So once I get that dry-ish, I can go to pull out my sequins, which it's a mixture from the Diary of Belle Rose. It's got pink, red, and green, so it's perfect. And then I have this little bead scooper that I got. I think it's linked in my Amazon storefront, but I'm not 100% sure. It's pretty handy for creating shaker pockets. And then I'm going to use my fuse tool here and just seal off the 3 areas that have the bow and then the sequins. So each of those pockets gets a bow, some sequins, and then gets sealed off. And I think it's perfection. And then I end up sealing the tops of the paper ornament squares just because I don't want them to fall out. They're not super snug in there, so I just add a little bit of, like, I just seal each side of the top of the ornament. I had considered cutting off the tops of the ornaments, but I didn't want to do that, so I thought that was a good way to make sure that they stayed. It wasn't a necessity, but, you know, I had my fuse tool out, so I figured why not. If I didn't have my fuse tool out, I would have probably just left it. So anyways, that is pretty much going to do it. The last detail I'm going to add, because I felt like the photos needed just a tiny little bit of something, is bring out these stickers again and just pick a word phrase for each one that sort of made sense, or yeah, that made sense. So I have not a bad little tree on the one of Smokey smelling Nora's ornaments. This one of his new little gingerbread cat tunnel says full of something. Wonder, maybe? Yeah, full of wonder. As he's stalking the little catnipped gingerbread man hanging at the end. So cute. And then this is hilarious because he never jumps up on this big giant IKEA calyx shelf in the living room, but he did, and he just decided to loaf at the top. So I just chose the one that said so thankful. And then the photo of Nora and him sleeping together, I picked the one that said special story. Then the one of him looking in the ornament at himself says twinkle, and the last one just says time for hygge, which is the art of coziness. I decided to add another word phrase sticker on the left because I forgot that I added it to the hidden photo and I wanted to kind of tie it in with the right side. So I picked one that said home is a feeling. I put it on top of the ornament just underneath the star after I finally decide where the heck I want to put it. And that is going to wrap it up. So here are the close-ups of the finished completed pages in real time. Give it a little shake, shake, shake so you can see the different sequins inside the pockets, and that's going to do it for me. So thank you guys so much for being here. Happy New Year. I wish you all of the prosperity and joy and peace and good health heading into 2025, and really appreciate you guys being here with me and joining me for another year of creating and planning and just having fun. So give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you're not. Thank you again for your time and have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves, friends. Remember that you are enough, and I'll see you next time. Love you guys. Bye.